People buy real estate when they see others buying. Now, I just want to give you a sample of this. I'll give you, and it's true for renting, it's true for leasing. I'll give you a real life example of where I learned this. I bought my first triplex, triplex I was going to live in, I don't know, 8-9 years ago in Danforth and Donlands. Not the greatest area. It's not Rosedale. It's not Forest Hill. It's not a bad area, but especially, late night, it wasn't the best area. But it was cheap. And my vision was I'm going to live upstairs, rent the other two, and live for free. So far my plan was working, and then the basement tenant moves out. Now, it's an okay basement apartment. It's not a great basement apartment. It's an okay area, not a great area. And I got to rent it. And it's wintertime. So now you got not a great place, not a great area in the wintertime. Try to rent it. So I thought, well, I'm a marketing guy. I should figure this out, right? So I run the ad, and I do the traditional stuff. This is before Google, before pay-per-click, before Craigslist, before any online stuff. So I run my little ad, and I think it was Toronto Star, and I got a number of calls. And what I decided to do, and it wasn't really maybe it was intentional. I can't remember if I did it on purpose or it was just kind of because I was busy. People were calling me every day, and I said, can I see it tonight? No. You got to see it Saturday, 9 o'clock. And I think maybe it's just convenient for me just to do one showing instead of doing every night different people. So all week I ran my ad for about 7 days, and a whole bunch of people, and I made them all come exactly Saturday, 9 o'clock. Now, I didn't tell them that I was telling everyone. I just said, I'll make you an appointment Saturday, 9 o'clock. Well, I knew at that point I had like 15 or 16 people coming. So I thought, well, this is good. So then being a marketing guy, I think I went on my Mac, and I think I printed off something of all the cool restaurants in the Danforth. Like I printed something out that I found was all the cool things in my neighborhood. Because I was close to Danforth, not really in Danforth, but you could walk to the cool area, right? So as these people came in, I gave them something, right? I gave them my little handout. And I said, look, you're going to have to just wait a few minutes. I'm going to do one tour at a time to be fair to everybody. You have to wait. And people were like, what are you talking about? So people are showing up, right? So they're lining up to see my basement apartment, okay? And I'm giving them this handout, and they're standing there, and it's cold. And I'm doing like one tour at a time. And I'm taking like 5 or 10 minutes, do my little tour. Here's the fire. And I'm showing all the benefits and the features of the place. Well, I think I went through 2 or 3 of this, and the crowd was getting restless. And one of the guys was like, I'll take it. I said, no, you can't take it, sir, because you haven't seen it yet. I mean, I'm doing tours. You're like, you got 2 more to go. I'll take it. And I think I don't remember what I was asking, $800 or $900. He goes, I'll give you $1,000 for it. I said, sir, you can't take it because you haven't seen it. You just be a few minutes, read the thing I gave you. A bidding war breaks out in line, okay? But you understand the psychology here. They're thinking, with all these people are here, this must be a good deal, okay? Like, a couple things are different, because normally when you see an apartment, it's just you and the guy's standing outside hoping you show up, and he's desperate, and he's calling you, Dave, are you going to come? It's a totally different experience. They see a line, they had some professional materials given to them. So anyways, I ended up renting it for about $200, which is significant. It was like 25% more than, it was a significant percentage, and the tenant, Natasha, was there for years, very happy. I learned the power of, learning how to rent a crummy basement apartment in a crummy area in January. But the point of the story is it's about people do things when they see other people doing it. You've seen it in a restaurant. You see a restaurant, this one is jam-packed. There's a lineup. There's one equally beautiful, equally nice. There's no one in it. Which one are you going to go to? You're going to go where you get served right away and get food quickly? No. You're going to get in that line, and you're going to wait an hour, and it's what happens. Think for a minute, if you had the world's best salesperson and you had a great sales office. Let's just pretend you had a great salesperson and you had a great sales office. And let's pretend you have a great prospect, well-qualified, ready to buy, serious, not a tire kicker. So you got a great prospect, beautiful sales office, and great salesperson. You think you got all the ingredients to success, right? No, here's why you don't. The great prospect walks in, blown away by how beautiful your sales center is. Your salesperson's building a relationship. They're getting him the fancy coffee, the bottled water. They're singing. They're building rapport. They're doing everything right. Let me tell you what happens after about an hour or 90 minutes. That prospect walks out and says, thank you very much. I'm going to review the information. I think about it. I'll get back to you. Well, here's why. There is no sense of urgency. They don't see anybody else. There's nobody else hanging around. There's no other units going. They don't hear the phone ring. They don't see the action. So there's no reason to buy today. No reason. Now, here's what I'd rather do. I would rather have a less qualified prospect in a crummier sales office with crummier salespeople, but jam-packed. Because if I do that, I will be selling like hotcakes. And all these different videos I'm going to share with you guys, these are for you to take home, you're going to see that. You're going to go, holy smokes, look at all those people. They're buying like crazy. 367 condos, 90 minutes, 200 units in 4 hours. What happened? Well, what we did was we created momentum. And one of the questions that Tristan asked, which was very good, Roman, do we abandon our traditional stuff? Do we just not do it? And what I would argue is you got to do it all. Okay, today is not about taking things off your list, it's about adding things to your list. In a good market, like in the United States in 2005, we studied, and we tracked this. We know it took 7 touch points from the first time you saw our marketing materials to when you actually signed a contract. 7 touch points. Those 7 touch points could be an ad, could be direct mail, it could be a phone call, it could be a site visit. I mean, those are all, everything is part of that 7 visits. That was in the best market in the history of real estate. In 2006, we did the stats. It was 17 touch points. So it took 17 touch points to get them to contract. 2007, we don't have the stats yet. We'll probably have them in about a month. I'm betting it's probably more like 25 to 30 because nobody's buying anything. And what we're learning here is if you go to any sales team, any developer, ask them to write out their touch point plan. Ask them to see what their sales process is. 95% don't know what you're talking about. And the 5% that do know, they don't have a plan, okay? Well, we do this. We know that they might come up with 4. If you're lucky, they'll come up with 5 touch points, okay? If you're really, really lucky. But even the National Real Estate Board will tell you nothing gets sold till at least 6 touch points. I mean, we all know innately our sales process. We know how long it takes. But most of us don't have a plan to go the 6 or 7 or 15 or 20 touch points. Now, let me tell you one secret. If you compress time, if you compress it into a short period of time, it's unbelievably powerful. What we did on these videos that you'll see, we compressed what would take 6 or 12 months into a matter of weeks. Let's talk about how we create this sense of urgency. What I found, and if you look at the IntraWest model, which really are really good guys at doing it, they do what's called event selling. Some people might call it group selling, some people call it event selling. But the idea is when you have a group of human beings in the same place at the same time that have a similar interest, magic happens. Okay? I'll tell you an example of, on a smaller scale, so I'm not going to use an IntraWest launch which could cost millions of dollars. Let me give you a small scale example. We have a developer. He's originally from Toronto. His name's Ed Mercer and his wife Sylvan. They're phenomenal people. They went down to Costa Rica in 1989, fell in love with it. Sylvan ends up buying like 100 acres on a mountain for like 80 grand. And all of a sudden they become developers. Some people at the hotel said, what'd you do? Can I have an acre? Can I have an acre? They kind of became developers. For 18 years now, they've become the largest landowner in the entire country. They own 11,000 acres. They've never done any advertising, never done any marketing. Okay? This is the largest landowner in Costa Rica, 11,000 acres. They have sold 1,000 home sites, and they're in the process of building 3,000 homes. Okay? These guys have been very successful, but remember what I said, no advertising, no marketing. How the hell have they done it? Let me tell you how they do it. They get people to come in on a two-day, they call it a flying-by program. Okay? So they say, Silvio, have you ever been to Costa Rica? No, I've heard some great things. What's great about Costa Rica is people only hear good things. It's not like any other country. Like if you survey people at Mexico, half of them love it, half of them hate it. But Costa Rica, everyone loves it. No one's ever heard a bad thing about it. So what they do is they say, so if you need to come see our project, it's in the most beautiful place in the world. It's like it's 0.3% of land mass, but 6% of the biodiversity. You're going to see monkeys. You're going to see parrots. You're going to see paradise. Like the Garden of Eden. You're going to see it. And so he's going to say, well, how much is it? It's $500. Okay. It's $500. You come down for 2 days. They pick you up at the airport. They bring you to a nice guest house. There's like 7 rooms in the guest house. They cook for you. They create a beautiful experience. Now, what they don't tell you is they have 7 other couples doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. Here's the magic of what they do. Their 2 salespeople are good, but they're not great. Okay, they pick you up at the airport. They're very nice. They bring you to the guest house. You have, a good meal, not a great meal, good meal. It's okay. The residence is nice. It's not the best, but it's nice. And basically,